This episode of the Old Dogs REI Network is brought to you by Mino Studio. Welcome to the Old Dogs REI Network, where cash flow is king. Real estate investing, the means, so you can enjoy your retirement dreams. This is the show where we cut right to the chase. No sales pitch, no long monologues, just simple how-to real estate investing advice, so you can earn the passive income you need to enjoy your retirement today. And now, your host and chief old dog, Bill Manacero.
Hello, old dogs, and welcome to
Fun Facts Friday!
This is our once-a-week, only on Friday show, where we have special episodes, not featuring guests, where I will share tricks, tips, terminology, and techniques that will help skyrocket you to real estate investing success. Today's topic is 7 tips for successful out-of-state investing. In last week's Fun Fact Friday episode, number 066, we discussed the pros and cons of buying properties out of state. And if after listening and evaluating you still are considering purchasing a rental property in a different state, then we want in this podcast to at least present a few key things to ensure your success. I have successfully bought 4 rental properties so far in different states. And so far, they're working out okay. I have learned a lot, and I've certainly had my mistakes. And I know other people who have gone through the same learning curve. But hopefully these tips will help you to avoid some of the mistakes that I made in others as well. Rental properties are a great way to create passive income, increase your net worth, and to help build a path to financial independence. So why in the world would anyone even want to purchase a rental property out of state? Well, as I mentioned in last week's episode, there are many reasons. And although these reasons may vary from person to person, there are really 2 main reasons. The first being the numbers are just better sometimes. You may live in a place that's very expensive, better ROI or return on investment. And secondly, I would say the diversity of your investments. Now, the numbers aspect of it is that for a lot of people, they may live an area that is too expensive. Like for me, I live in Southern California. Therefore, it is difficult to be able to generate the kind of cash flow I want to generate. Sometimes you got to look if you live in a market that just does not make sense to buy cash flowing properties. If you barely break even or even worse, have negative cash flow, it just doesn't make sense. Out-of-state properties can be more affordable. You can buy newer properties for less money. You got better cap rates, price to rent ratios. Even the cost of services may be less. Either way, you get a better return on your investment. Also, purchasing rental property out of state can be a great way to diversify your real estate portfolio. Now, sometimes it's not smart to have all your eggs in one basket, that being in one city or state. If all your rental properties are located in one area and there is a strong, let's say, economic turndown, such as what happened in Houston and the decline of oil prices, or natural disaster like in New Orleans with Katrina, or some other sort of rare event, that one thing could devastate your whole real estate portfolio if that's the only place you're investing. Having rentals in different states or different cities can help reduce your overall risk. Now, my retirement plan consists of building enough passive income from rental properties to not only help me meet my needs, but also to generate the funds to help others, especially our mission in Haiti. It is very important to follow a path to success to ensure your financial independence dreams. If all goes according to my plan, I should be set by 2020. If you have a good local market where you can make your numbers, I say go for it. It's better to be near your rental properties. But if that is not the case, or you just want to diversify, here's a list of 7 tips that will help you be successful at your out-of-state investing. Let's start with number 1. Have a plan. Before you even consider buying out of state, you need to know your why. Why are you investing in the first place? What do you hope to achieve and why? What is your strategic focus? What are your short and long-term goals? Are you buying raw land, single-family properties, duplexes, triplexes, large multifamilies, trailer parks, self-storage, assisted living facilities, or office buildings? Know exactly what it is you want to target and stick to that. Are you going to maybe do a combination thereof? Maybe you'll wholesale and flip to raise the funds that you need to be able to start buying the buy and hold. What's your mission and vision? Your goals for the year, the next 5, 10, or 20 years? How will you achieve that goal? You need to clearly define your strategic plan before you do anything else. Number 2, pick an emerging market. If you have listened to this podcast for a while, you know I have discussed emerging markets, and a lot of our guests have as well, and the value of investing in emerging markets. If you can buy anywhere, then you might as well pick one of the best cities for real estate investing. One that has a vibrant economy, increasing population, good job employment, and other factors that ensure your financial success. It's just common sense to me. If you choose a city with decreasing population, a declining job force, and a bad local economy, then this means you are losing renters, profit, and equity. Things could be great for your first few years, but later down the road, you will regret ever purchasing this property, and you will have a hard time getting rid of it without losing money. It's best to just do your thorough research first and pick a market that shows both short and long-term promise. You might want to listen to episode 008 on the top 10 real estate investing markets. This is not an all-inclusive be-all and end-all list. It's always changing, and there are new markets that are emerging all the time. But it gives you an idea of some of the hot markets out there. I always, though, suggest that you do your own research, even though these top 10 markets are pretty good ones to invest in right now. I would still say do your own research and find the market that's going to be right for you and your goals. Number 3, secure financing. It amazes me how many newbie real estate investors try to jump into the game without ever knowing how they will purchase or finance the property. You can spend all the hours you want reading and looking for properties, but if you do not have the financing or cash in place, then you're stuck. If you have the cash to buy, then great, kudos to you. But if you need secure financing, contact some lenders and try to get a pre-approval or at least a letter of approval before spending a ton of time searching for properties or sellers. Because properties aren't available for a long time, and you find something really good, it will not sit around while you have to go and apply for a loan. I was fortunate in that I was able to purchase my first 3 properties with cash. But that is not always the case, and it actually makes more financial sense to take out a mortgage instead of paying cash. And sure, you can always try to get seller financing, but that isn't always available. When I started investing, I had no recent credit history. I had been debt-free for 20 years and living in Haiti as a missionary for 11 of those years. I had to recreate my credit history, and even though it made me cringe to sign up for new credit cards, a car loan, etc. to build that credit history, I had also read Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad and understood the value of good debt for real estate investing. So I sucked it up, and I was able to get up to my credit score up to about 780, which helped me to get good rates and terms. Getting that credit in advance is really key. Number 4, due diligence. If you find an investment property you are interested in, you will want to pay extra attention to all the details. Not having the means to see the property puts you in a disadvantage, of course. That's why it's extremely important you do major in-depth research on whatever property you want to buy. You will want to check the property and neighborhood out on Google Maps, maybe to start out. Check assessor and other public records. Do a Google search on the address. Check crime stats, evaluate rent prices, find local investors to talk to about the property or property managers in the area, and hire a good inspector and appraiser once you have the property under contract. That's just to name a few, but due diligence is key. Number 5, research the seller. Just as important as researching the house is to research the person selling you the house. Do internet searches on the firm, the individual's name. Check the Better Business Bureau for complaints. Search forums for info. Find others who have used them and speak to them about their experiences. Believe it or not, there are a lot of folks out there that are looking to take advantage of unsuspecting newbie real estate investors. Do not leave one stone unturned, or it could come back and haunt you. And by haunt you, I mean potentially cause you to lose thousands of dollars. This is important. Number 6, find a good property manager. I've said it before and I'll say it again. A PM can make or break you. I've had the luxury of working with both good property managers and horrible ones, and I've fired more than I'd like to admit. But take note, this is the most critical element of successful out-of-state investing. A good PM can make your life wonderful or a living hell. Does that sound too harsh? Well, it can be very critical to your success. Be sure to do a thorough due diligence on your PM. If possible, only talk to those who can get strong referrals from. Find somebody that has a great reputation. Check out Yelp and the Better Business Bureau. Carefully interview your PM once you narrow it down to some prospects, and speak with other investors who have used them. And don't just take the referrals they give you, but do some research. Go on their website, check their rental ads, find out about their properties, track down the owners, and call them. It is really worth it to research and interview multiple PMs before making a decision. This is the most important point. And finally, number 7, make sure the numbers work. It's easy to run numbers using cool spreadsheet calculators like my free 3-minute rental property analyzer available on our website. But it's not so easy to dig deeper to actually enter the correct numbers to get a realistic number. You do have to dig deeper and get as good a numbers as you possibly can. You can shave down your expenses and costs all you want to see better numbers, but at the end of the day, you're only hurting yourself. It's better to have more conservative numbers going in than having to cope with unrealistic expectations. Your in-depth research should give you all the data you need to properly input solid numbers. If your returns are not met, then move on to the next property. It's as simple as that. Don't make mistake number 7 from my recent blog entitled 12 Common Mistakes Real Estate Investors Make and How You Can Avoid Them at olddogsreinetwork.com. It talks about falling in love with properties. It's important that you see how that romance won't work out and just move on. Well, we have multiple podcasts that should help you do these tips and get more in depth on these subjects that I've discussed. I especially recommend that you listen to some of our podcasts to get a good idea of how to find good markets, secure financing, build a strong team, and analyze potential investment properties. I will include links in today's show notes. To get the show notes, go to olddogsreinetwork.com/blog. Look for episode 068 entitled 7 Tips for Successful Out-of-State Investing. So until next time, remember, cash flow is king and real estate investing the means. Thanks again for listening, and God bless.
Thank you very much for visiting the Old Dogs REI Network. We would greatly appreciate if you would stop by iTunes and let us know what you think of the show. We would love if you could subscribe to the podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and write a review. The more ratings and reviews we receive, the more visible the podcast will be to others. Thank you.